I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. So I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah.
Let's pause and ask a serious question. Are the Epstein files closing in not just on Donald Trump, but on other wealthy, powerful, well-connected figures? Because something is shifting. Look at what's just unfolded around the man once known as Prince Andrew. This is not a minor story, and it deserves your full attention. Here's what years of prosecutorial experience teaches you, and it's something that never changes. The moment someone gets caught in the grip of the legal system, everything shifts. Arrests, charges, mounting pressure. And suddenly, one question dominates everything. How do I get out of this? Now look closely at recent images of Andrew. Does that look like confidence? Does that look like a man who believes privilege will protect him because the walls appear to be closing in? New reporting confirms that investigators are now questioning former protection officers connected to Andrew, asking whether they witnessed or overheard anything relevant to the Epstein investigation. That matters. Questions are emerging about whether warning signs were missed, whether suspicious activity went unnoticed, or worse, was deliberately ignored. Meanwhile, searches tied to Andrew's former residence are ongoing. Multiple law enforcement agencies are now combing through millions of documents connected to the Epstein files. Millions. And here's what history consistently shows us. When legal pressure builds, behavior changes. People facing serious consequences make calculated decisions. After years of prosecutions, one truth becomes undeniable. Individuals connected to criminal conduct often begin to crack when accountability becomes real, not just legally, psychologically. Two things tend to happen under that kind of pressure. First, cooperation. People start exploring deals, reduced charges, lighter sentences, and most importantly, information. Information about others, about networks, about who else was involved. But there's a second factor, and it's deeply human. When one person faces consequences, a question quietly takes hold.
As a survivor, he said he thinks it's a shame after learning of Andrew's arrest. What did you hear there? How did you interpret that?
Well, I think it's a shame that the president is saying that.
Why me and not them? That question can become a powerful motivator. Imagine bearing accountability while watching other influential figures avoid scrutiny entirely. Would that breed resentment? Would it shift someone's incentives? History suggests it would. When pressure rises, silence tends to break. And investigators begin gaining access to relationships, connections, and associations that were once carefully hidden. Publicly available images alone show repeated interactions, familiar faces, shared spaces, photographs that continue to circulate. And with investigations now spanning multiple countries, not just the UK, but across Europe and beyond, the scope is widening. Authorities are reviewing evidence, examining documents, tracing connections, and when accountability starts reaching people with real power, reactions follow. Because pressure doesn't stay contained, it spreads. With every new development, the questions multiply, the attention intensifies, and the possibility of further revelations remains very real. Because history tells us what happens when investigations go deep. Finger-pointing begins. Justice matters. Stay informed, stay aware, and stay tuned.